So it's been a hell of a damn week, man, and we're only a week away from the actual season started. I mean, you have trades going on, you have season prediction. Everybody is doing their own version of it. I mean, it's a lot to talk about, and I brought two guys in there with me today, so we can just get down to the nitty gritty. So without further ado, let's get to it. What up? What's good? What's happening? It's your boy Big Herb here, and welcome to another episode of Off the Bench. We are on the road to 500 subs, so be sure to hit that like, share, leave a comment, and subscribe on the network. And like I always say every episode, help us grow so we can do more. Guys, I also say this every single episode. I want you to walk in and walk out feeling like you learned something, got entertained a little bit while you go ahead and start up this show. So without further ado, like I said, I got two guys in here today to go ahead and talk to us today. So let's start off with the first one. Here we go. So let's get to it. This guy right here, he's a sports connoisseur. He's dished out thousands upon thousands of money to go ahead and go to multiple sporting events. He's been to multiple shows such as Lake Lewis podcast, giving his takes on Commanders and leaving pretty good hot bits as well. He's a student of the game, teacher of the game, in my opinion, because most of the stuff I learned from him. And also, I got my good looks from him as well. Introducing Pops. What's going on, Dad?
Hey, love the walk-up music, man. That's right. That's right. That little fun. That's right. It's Cosmic Slop, baby. Yes, indeed. No, life is good.
And our next guest, let me start off by saying this. He's a former Howard University standout, former offensive line coach at Archbishop Carroll High School, sending multiple Division I powerhouse students over there. He's also the mentor of Jacksonville Jaguars offensive tackle Anton Harris, co-host of the Camera Blurs podcast, co-host of the Thirsty Thursday wrestling podcast. He's the real-life version of the Juggernaut, and he can break down the defense and offense like no other person. Give it up to the homie, Rick. What's up, homie?
Again, I keep saying, who the fuck are you talking about? I didn't do any of this stuff.
Welcome to the show, fellas.
Look, man, false modesty is not attractive, man. Okay.
So, guys, there's been a lot of stuff been going on within the last 24 hours. I mean, we're sitting there prepping for the season. We're getting ready as Commander fans, and just like good old boy down south, Jerry Jones just has to go ahead and just tell us exactly what he feels about his team, and he goes in and makes his own little he makes his own Netflix special, and then he goes ahead and sends off his most prized possession to Green Bay, Wisconsin. Ladies and gentlemen, Micah Parsons, let me rephrase his name. His name is Micah Parsons, has been sent to the Green Bay Packers for 2 first-round picks and a defensive tackle. In all honesty, I feel like that wasn't really that was too little, considering that. Go. You know what? I'm gonna let these guys cook. Rick, go ahead.
No. I just have to, because I've been making sure I reiterate this with all the Cowboy fans I know. The Jets got more for Jamal Adams than what the Dallas Cowboys just got for Micah Parsons. That's insane. That's insane. Like I've again, you know, I normally try to keep things like I don't mess with Cowboy fans unless they mess with me. But this one was just too much. This one I had to. Like I had to start sending out text messages. I had to start firing off Instagram messages. This was too funny not to.
I troll all my Cowboy fans viciously. Okay, this man traded away Lawrence Taylor. Okay, that's what he did. He traded Lawrence Taylor in his prime. There's no way you give up a 26-year-old pass rush game wrecking menace who has 50 sacks in 4 years, and you give him up for basically 2 high number 2 picks. Or 2 second round picks, because we all know them picks is going to be 29, 28, 29, 30. So you basically give up 2 high second round picks and a 30-year-old defensive tackle. Are we serious? I mean, Madden wouldn't even allow that. Okay. If you try to
so people have been posting the simulations, and Madden has been rejecting them. Madden is no.
I don't know that. Look, I play games, but I'm not even playing my Madden. But my thing is this: I was like, even a computer would know. Everybody would know that you don't do that. You don't do that.
Listen, and then one of the best parts to me is watching Jerry's press conference where he's trying to justify. That's like, man,
we're a better team now, you know.
Right? We needed to stop the run. We haven't been able to stop the run in years. You need to stop smoking crack. Is what you need to stop. Actually, no. As a matter of fact, Jerry, please do. Also, listen. Long live Jerry Jones. Don't you go nowhere. Don't you go nowhere, old man.
Don't go nowhere.
And just to put this out here, he's already beaten stage 4 cancer. He's beaten the Me Too movement. At this point, like me and Pops had this conversation last night. I want you to live. I'm about to be 40 in October. I hope that he lives a day longer than I do. I'm gonna do whatever I can do to make sure that I stay healthy. Just for the sake of my son. But I'm going to make sure that I want Jerry to just spend one more day on this earth longer than I do. So, I mean, and it's just like, dude, really? You got rid of a generational pass rush demon. He was never had anything lower than 12 and a half sacks. And you decided to go ahead, not just on the only thing that he could have did that was dumber is just send it to us. I mean, you sent it to a conference rival. Usually, whenever you send somebody off like that, you send them to the other conference that you don't see within like once every 4 years.
You trade him to the USFL, okay? That's what you trade him to. You trade him to another league, okay? So, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Here's my thing. You traded him to the one team that put you out the last 3 times you was in the playoffs, okay? I mean, are we serious about this? A team that already had a top 10 defense. They already had a top 10 defense. And by the way, they play in the NFC North where there's some pretty good offenses in the NFC North. Last I checked. You know, you got Minnesota, you got Detroit, you know, Chicago want to come up a little bit and whatever. So, you know, but like I said, I'm with you. I want Jerry to live forever. Okay. I want him, you know what I said yesterday, like you said, a day longer than me, but no, I want my friends, I want my kids, I want my grandkids to experience Jerry Jones. Because here's what he did. And by the way, I'm apologizing for what I'm gonna say right now. What it came down to is I need to get rid of this uppity nigga because he think he's better than us. He think we can
no, that's facts. I mean,
that's what it was.
I mean, at the end of the day,
you asking your agent to be at. We made a deal that you don't need to bring your agent in here. Okay.
I mean, you thinking that you still in 1985 when we're in 2025?
He in 1965. Okay. He thinks he's in 1965.
Yeah, I was gonna say he think he's a little bit further back than that. And it's absolutely insane the way that this whole thing just played out. You know what I mean? I've also seen some things that said like Micah rejected like a 4-year, $203 million contract from the Cowboys or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, that's clearly something that was pushed out there by the Cowboys. You know what I mean? Oh, Jerry Jones is just trying to save face the way that he normally does. But I mean, listen, more power to him. I'm so happy. I hope that Jerry Jones has like someone that he really, really hates, like Jim Cornette says, like he's gonna stay alive so that he can piss on a certain person's grave. I hope that Jerry Jones has one of those rivalries that just keeps him alive and just making these piss poor, terrible football decisions because I need him again. So I work with a Cowboys fan, and I remember last year when he was talking about signing Dak, and he was like, "Ain't no way we're gonna sign Dak Prescott to $65 million a year. I mean, or $60 million a year." I said, "You're right, you ain't. They signed him to 65." I said, all of y'all's money is about to be wrapped up in 2 players because y'all bullshitted around and didn't sign CeeDee Lamb either. And now look at it. All of their money is wrapped up. A chunk of that salary cap is wrapped up in 2 offensive players. And you talking about, oh well, we're gonna sign Micah. No, you're not. No, you're not. Anybody that knows numbers knows you're not. So and we saw what was gonna happen.
Let me say this.
I mean, we
you know who he reminds me of? Donald Trump. He reminds me of Donald Trump. He is full of hubris, thinks whatever he says can go, thinks he can make policy, think he can change policy, thinks he can, that no one can. And if you dare challenge him, you're out. Okay? Don't that sound like your president?
that ain't my president. I ain't vote for it.
But don't that sound like the president? Okay,
yeah.
It sounds like POTUS. If you dare challenge him, no, you're out. Okay, even if it's at his own detriment. Okay, you are out. Okay, and the way he sounds when he talks, he might as well say, "Well, this is the best trade we've ever made in the history of football." He's like, he reminds me of Donald Trump. We're gonna do this. We're just gonna do this because we makes us a better team, and everybody's going like, no, it doesn't.
No, nigga, no, it doesn't. Nigga.
No, it doesn't.
I see your roster. You want to run that by us again?
you took the best player, not just on your team, but literally probably in the division. Okay. I mean, and we talk about a division that has Saquon Barkley and Jaden Daniels and what's the AJ what's the wide receiver for the Eagles or whatever.
I mean, he clearly traded away the best defensive player in the conference. I mean, bar none. I mean, it's not even close. I mean, and then you traded him to another to a team who, like you said, put him out in the same conference. So you're going to see. And here's the thing: he did us a favor because I mean, we're gonna see what's the name Parsons in week 2. But we're not going to see him like every year. We may see him like once a year. And if that on that 1 year, maybe in the playoffs. And it's not even set in stone that we ever have to face him. I mean, because if you looked at the game last year, Parsons just put his fingerprint on those 2 Commander games that he played. And I mean, he was the reason why they were still in the game. So I mean,
Jane Daniels is unsackable for the most part. Okay, and he got the Jane Daniels. Okay,
and I'm even looking at as far as just putting this out there with him playing in the NFC North. I mean, they better get their track shoes ready because Jared Goff ain't no scrambler. What's the name? We still don't even know what JJ McCarthy's gonna do. I mean,
look right there, that box right there.
Yeah. I know he's a Michigan man, but I'm just keeping it up. We don't
see the box, see the M right there. Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, but I mean, as far as just like scrambling ability, we don't know. So I mean, and we all know as far as Caleb, I mean, you could run around, but you can only do but so much. And I mean, it's funny to look at. And I mean, I'm always going to celebrate the demise of Dallas. I'm still iffy on trying to watch that damn documentary because it's a Jerry Jones circle of jerk over there. So I can't do it. I mean,
I'll comment on that real quick. Herbie, I raised you to hate the Cowboys because I was raised to hate the Cowboys because my dad was raised to hate the Cowboys. I mean, that's and Miles will hate the Cowboys. If you handle this correctly. Okay.
No, it's being handled. No, it's being handled. Yeah. We don't. No.
But I didn't hate Emmitt Smith. Okay, I didn't. I thought I won't say I dare to say overrated because I when you rated him against Barry Sanders. It was no question. If Barry Sanders was running behind that line that the Cowboys had, that's why the Cowboys won all those championships, that offensive line. Yeah. That's why the Redskins won championships because of their offensive line. We all know that you win football on a line of scrimmage. Anybody who wins the line of scrimmage wins the game. Okay. So I didn't hate Emmitt Smith, and I've learned to actually enjoy Michael Irvin at times because he's kind of a clown, but we
all love a coked up dummy.
Yeah,
because I
know a few of them. Okay, so
I mean, I saw a picture of it. I saw a video clip of him in what's his name in South America with the glitter on his chest and he had a little white shit on his nose. I was like, dude, stop.
and I even can tolerate. Not even tolerate. I actually think Troy Aikman is a good guy in the booth. I think he speaks well. I think he knows what he's talking about. I don't think, there's some people who step on their tongues a lot of times. Troy Aikman's pretty good in the booth. So I don't hate them as individuals, but you put that star on your chest and you just, you get it from me. That's it. That is what it is.
One of my favorite college football players of all time was Ezekiel Elliott. I really enjoyed watching Ezekiel Elliott at Ohio State. The minute he was drafted number 4 by the Cowboys, I was just like, well, fuck you. That's just the way it goes. Hey,
Rick, I got a saying. I'd rather have a sister in the whorehouse than a brother that's a Cowboy fan. Okay.
I mean, listen, I'm right there with you. At least a sex worker has a legitimate position in society.
I can't fight with that. Okay, welcome to Off the Bench. Okay. I mean, I grew up hating them. I still hate them. They broke my heart during the 70s, and y'all gotta understand. One of my earliest memories was Thanksgiving Day when Clint Longley came. We knocked Roger Staubach out the game. He was out, concussed. We gonna win now because he's the one that killed us all. And Clint Longley come in and throw like 2 80-yard bombs and we lose. Okay, we have had nightmares, but I've had some good times going to Cowboy games as well. And some of my best memories have been at a Cowboy Stadium in Arlington, Texas, and also Jerry World. Okay, I had some fun there too. Okay, so I've had some good times with him as well. So,
but hopefully, the future will be pretty good as far as with this new signing that we just got, because Terry McLaurin, like we posted the other day, has gotten re-signed by the Commanders, and it's great to know that he's back on the team, and we're going to be trying to do our best to get to the bowl. But they did the breakdown on his actual contract the other day because he had signed a 3-year extension for $96 million. And originally we were sitting there like, damn, yeah, that's a good deal, making about like $32 million a year and everything, and hopefully we can go ahead and just get back to work to everything. And then the breakdown of the actual contract came out. It was a 3-year extension worth $87 million base value, which is $29 a year. $44 million of it is fully guaranteed, converting to $50 million in April 2027. His 19.15 for 2025 wasn't guaranteed. He gets a $30 million signing bonus and reachable incentive base on the yards, catches, touchdowns, Pro Bowls, and playoffs. So I gotta ask you guys, as much as they've been fighting back and forth in the negotiations, who do you think won, Adam Peters or Buddy Baker?
We did. we won. Okay. It's hard to call somebody who just has been guaranteed $30 million a loser. Okay. Mm-hmm. But of course, we live in the real world and they don't. I think it was a compromise. Because if Terry continues to play the way he does, those are very reachable incentives, and and he'll get the money he deserves. But at the heart of it all, the commander stood on the fact that he was 30 years old, going on 31. Okay. Mm-hmm. Receivers tend to break down after about 32, 33. But the one thing that I always push back on that was this. Yeah, he may be 30 years old, but he's only 6-7 years old as far as NFL years are concerned. Yeah. Because when you play for Ohio State, you only play like 5 or 6 games that matter. Okay. Mm-hmm. You don't play, your first 5 or 6 games against, if you're Ohio State, you got Michigan State, you got Penn State, you got Big Blue, go Blue. Okay. And then usually some 4th or 5th place guy in the Big Ten, and maybe an out of conference game that may mean like tomorrow, Ohio State plays, Texas. Okay. Mm-hmm. So you only play really 5 games a year that way you gotta strap up. So he wasn't taking a lot of hurt in the Big Ten, and he's only been in the league for 6 years. So and he's always kept it. Terry's missed what, 1, 2, 3 games at the most?
And that was his rookie year. So I mean, and just to put that on, double down on what you're saying. I mean, he didn't play his first 2 years at Ohio State. He played his junior and senior year. So I mean, because we all know that for those who don't know, Ohio State and LSU is pretty much the pinnacle of receiver U in college football now. So I mean, when you have guys and Terry isn't even the best one that came out. Now he's the most consistent one that's came out as of late out of Ohio State. But yeah, I mean, to see that he only had played like 2 years out there, even though he's there to senior year, and then you get into the league, you've been consistently, even with shitty quarterback play, year after year after year after year, getting 1,000 yards. Now, granted, it's not the top, like he's getting 13 or 1,400 yards, but with shitty quarterback play, you've got what's his name?
Jamar Chase has Joe Burrow throwing to him.
Exactly.
Terry has had Taylor Heineke, Sam Howell, Marcus Mariota,
Case Keenum. Keenum was his first quarterback.
Yeah.
So, and at times he was the only reliable receiver on the field. Okay,
Yeah.
period. Okay, they didn't even have good tight ends during that time. They had no. The running backs weren't known for catching passes out the backfield. And it's hard for me to sit here and compliment a kid out of Ohio State, but I like Terry. Okay, Now it's a shame. As good as he was at Ohio State, he did lose 4 in a row to Big Blue. I'm sorry. But yeah, I mean, and it's not just what he did on the field, and he was great on the field for a bad team with a bad coach and a bad quarterback and a bad offensive scheme. But what he did outside of that, what he did for the community, the way he stood for them. If you was going to overpay somebody, this is the type of person you overpay.
And that was the kind of thing that I was saying the whole time with this whole saga is, I want for this new administration that's running this team, running this organization, to understand that we spent so much time paying other people to come in here and try to clean it up that you need to this is the one that you rewarded. Like this is the pace card that you set for the tone that you want to continue on here. You know what I mean? Like rewarding people who do things the right way. And Terry has done things the right way since he got here. I remember when he first got here and when they drafted him, and I believe it was it Jay? Yeah, I believe it was Jay Gruden.
Gruden was
Jay Gruden, they said they got him in camp and he looked at him, he goes, "Oh yeah, this is our wide receiver 1." So from day one, you know what I mean? Like, well, I know we didn't have much expectation on him, but like it's been there, and all he's done is just answer that bell every time. Herb Jr., you remember last season, I was a little critical, but like it started to turn around. You know what I mean? Like I've done a complete 180 on how I feel about Terry and his production and what his abilities have shown. And then also him being with Jaden Daniels is going to be remarkable, and like all their relationship is just going to grow. Wide receivers and quarterbacks, once they start to get they started on that same page, like it was close, but like this year, like we going to see that next evolution, and then you have other additional weapons to go with that. That's just going to take all of that pressure off of Terry. Like I don't think people understand how big of an impact Deebo Samuel is going to have on this offense.
If he can stay on the field.
I honestly, Big Herb, I'm not even worried about that. And I'm gonna say the reason why I'm not worried about that is because after a player's been in a place for a long time and they have that little contempt, those little nagging injuries start to build up a lot more than normally. But then once you get somewhere where there's a fresh energy, there's a different environment, you know what I mean? You start to feel a little bit fresher. You start to feel a little bit more energized weekly. And I happen to look at the Commander's story every day on Instagram when they're coming out to practice, and Deebo got a little bit different bounce to his step. You know what I mean? Like he seems refreshed. Also, Deebo is playing for a contract as well. So I mean, like there's like you haven't heard that adversity to lining up in the backfield this offseason. He's just been doing it in the preseason. You know what I mean? And so again, it's just. I'm intrigued to see the way this offense is going to look, especially with these new weapons and like this. For the first time in a long time, I feel comfortable with this receiving core. Like I look at this receiving core and I'm like, we can go with anybody in the league. You know what I mean? So
they signed somebody today, and I don't know who they did. I can't remember. They signed
Kendrick Bourne.
Yes.
Oh, they did? Oh, okay. No, that's new because I thought that he was originally supposed to be coming next week to go ahead and to do a visit. And I mean, but if we sign him up, I mean that because Bourne is a starter. He started, if I'm not, he started last year in New England, correct?
He started in New England, and then he was another one that was a starter in San Francisco.
Yeah. I mean, and you got a guy who now, I mean, because I mean, granted, some people thought Luke McCaffrey wasn't really that great. I mean, but if you look at the 22 or was it the all 22, he was open a few times here and there. It was just shitty quarterback play during the preseason. Now, albeit we just need to see how it's going to be during the regular season. And I mean, you got it. It just bolsters the receiving core now. So
I need him to be more like his big brother. Okay, that's what I need. Okay,
he ain't got that kind of speed. Christian got another type of speed.
But just looking at, I mean, it's like, yeah, you got somebody like a Scary Terry coming in, and I mean, and it's doing wonders. I would love to see what that. I love the fact that we got him signed, number one. But then it raises the question: so what does that mean for the other guys getting ready to come up? Because you got Tunsil getting ready to come up. You got what's the name? Lattimore, who's another person getting ready to come up. Luvu's contract is up in a couple years. And the big fish, Jaden Daniels, right after his third year, he's eligible for getting restructuring, getting an extension on his contract. Me starting off, just my thoughts on it. I at least know that I ain't got to worry about nothing until closer to the season starts, because if you look at the track record with AP, and let me go out there and say this for the people out there, stop complaining about AP, because you asked for a competent GM and he's done nothing but show you, I got this shit. Shut the fuck up and let me cook. Because I mean,
what have you always heard me say? What have you always heard me say? They're grown-ups in the room now. They're grown-ups in the room.
You look at as far as like when he was with San Fran, Bosa signed in September, Trent signed in September. Last year, Cosme signed in September. Only reason why Terry ain't signed in September is because the week starts. What's the name? The season starts next week. So I mean, and you signed him right before the season. This is his track record. So I look forward to seeing what he's going to do with Tunsil, and if and what could happen with the rest of the guys. So, Rick, what you think?
Yeah, it's like I've people been asking me about the Terry situation from the get-go, from since the beginning of training camp, and I'm like, just relax, give it a second. This is an analytics-based front office now, so they're looking at things analytically. I think that if people produce and it makes sense, then they will get paid. But if they don't and it doesn't make sense and they can move on, I mean, like they've already started the plans to, like, if Laramie Tunsil doesn't work out, you know what I mean? That's what the Josh Connolly, that's what the Josh Connolly drafting was about. I think that people are going to be paid the right way. People who contribute and who do their thing, they're going to get rewarded for it. But I mean, also, like, people have to understand that you can't re-sign everybody. Just because someone is your favorite doesn't mean that it makes sense to re-sign them. And that's something that's going to happen here. Like I yell about Commanders fans all the time. We have to become a professional fan base to go along with a professional organization, and stop getting caught up in, oh, but I like this guy, he has to stay. That's not true. That's not true at all. You know what I mean? Sometimes you have to move on from people. It's a numbers game. And yes, the salary cap is going to go up because the NFL is just continuing to make money. But also, it doesn't make sense to keep and punish people around who aren't really producing or who the numbers just don't match up for.
Exactly.
Well, let me say this. The regime that I grew up under, okay, the Joe Gibbs era, they always had a theory about cutting a guy 1 year early instead of 1 year late, you know. And people would be hollering and screaming, but when that guy would go to his next team, he wouldn't do nothing, you know. And it's always good to let go of a guy 1 year early than 1 year late. My concern about Tunsil is Tunsil has a history of wanting to ask for more money, okay. And so he's not happy with his salary ever and whatever. So I won't say ever, but he always wants to renegotiate. And so I have a concern about him. But he is a very, very good left tackle, you know. And you know, and those guys, the most important position on the football team is quarterback. Next most important position is left tackle, okay, because that's the guy who protects the quarterback. Okay, the third best is the edge pass rusher, because that's the guy who tries to kill the quarterback. Okay, so and I believe it really is those three people are the ones who get the most money: the quarterback, the left tackle, and the edge rusher. Okay. Now, of course, nowadays wide receivers killed all that theory or whatever, but be that as it may, you know. But the Tunsil thing concerns me because he has a history of holding out or with holding in until he gets what he wants. And let's face it, these hold-ins are more stressful to us than it is to the people who are doing it. So, really, if you think about it, the only person who turned this whole situation sideways was Jerry Jones. Okay, everybody else waits it out. The fans lose their mind. They sign before the first game of the season, and everybody's feeling kissy huggy. The Cowboys are the only one that's fucked this up. Okay, because he actually traded the guy. Okay, so because what's everybody's play? Oh, I'm not getting what I want. I want a trade. Okay, everybody asks for a trade. That's the standard operating procedure.
Jerry literally said, "Hold my beer."
I need for everybody to stop looking at their Bleacher Report, stop looking at the ESPN stories of, as soon as somebody demands a trade, 5 trade proposals that are going to happen. How can you trade somebody 5 times? Like, just relax. They're writing these stories because they need to, because they got editors and deadlines that they got to meet. You know what I mean? They got to put content out there. But just because somebody oh man, it was just a couple weeks ago, but when Terry demanded a trade, like the fervor and the angst that started permeating the whole area, I'm just like, y'all gotta relax. Like, weed is legal in the city now. Like, I know we're being invaded, but I need y'all to go get some edibles or something and just relax.
Hey, look, don't go blaming it on weed, dude. Don't go blaming it on weed.
no.
Them battles were paranoid well before that. Okay,
but yeah, man. Like, again, I said it was going to get done from the get-go, and it got done. And I mean, like, again, it's just your all of your favorites aren't going to be signed. And I mean, like, you have to look at, like, the funny thing about it is I was looking at the draft, and I'm looking at these trades that happened, but then I'm looking at the draft. I said the funny part about it is they've set it up so they're not going to re-sign everybody. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, we got to re-sign Marshawn. Well, Trey Amos has been a dog. Well, we got to re-sign Laremy Tunsil. Well, Josh Connolly would have been a top 10 pick next year if he would have stayed. So, what you know what I mean? It's like they're setting these things up. Even they've even set it up so that Bobby Wagner can run off into the sunset pretty soon, because again, somebody who I named last year, somebody I'm on the lookout for, Jordan McGee. Again, all we hear about is how injured he is. People don't hear about how well he's played in practice and how good he's looked. I promise you, Jordan McGee is going to be the next up and comer to take the place at the Mike linebacker.
Yeah, I heard a lot of
ain't Bobby Wagner my age? Something like he's close to me.
Damn near close to it. Damn near.
No, because I mean, I'm just looking at it from the standpoint of this. I mean, like, this is what we've asked for: competence in the front office for years and years and years. And one thing that, I mean, this is just my span that me and your fan of. Donovan Edwards picked up by the Commanders as well. So I mean, the running back from Michigan, Go Blue, got picked up on the Packers squad. So that's good to see. Especially being with the running back situation that's going on with Bill Eckler, C-Rod, and them. So,
Bill, when did that happen?
Okay, so long story short, he got called Bill because he had a big ass bald head back when he was a kid from the cartoon Bill. So it's a
Lil Bill,
Lil Bill. So yeah, that's the reason why they call him Bill. So I mean, they
think up him when they let what's his name, J-Rob go. I mean, they let him, and I like Robinson. I thought he was pretty good. But you know what though, to be somebody his size, he did not to me have that attack, kind of thing in him where, like, on 4th and 2, like, you can give him to the ball and he would push his way into the end zone. I just didn't see it out of him,
I just thought about this.
Rick fighting his tongue right now.
And the person who I wanted to ask is Rick about this. As much as we see Philly do the tush push, why the fuck didn't you just put him back there and just let him just go in there?
Brian Robinson.
All right.
Yeah.
Because he's a running back. He's a running back. He's just a running back. Brian Robinson to me was bigger Alfred Morris. Like, he would always hit the hole. He would run hard, but again, I can't deal with seeing my running back get chased down by a defensive lineman. I just can't. And that was happening a lot. You know what I mean? And then when the trade happened, like people was like, "Man, they traded B Rob," and I was like, "Man, that's unfortunate." Oh well.
Yeah.
And Herb, remember last year when we were watching the first game, right? And B Rob being in, he'd run, and then Eckler would get in, and I said, look, there's a different burst there. You're seeing burst from your running back, and what happens? And I mean, and now, like essentially, you have a running back room that's full of burst. Because even when Chris Rodriguez gets his spot duty, like there's a burst there, there's a pop. Like again, as an offensive line coach and a former run game coordinator, like that's what I need to see that burst from my running back. I don't need to see, oh man, come on. I don't want, if I'm yelling, come on, Ice Wagon, just know that there's a problem. You know what I mean? Like I like the burst. Brian Robinson is going to do great in San Francisco, like he always does. They are a running back factory right now. You know what I mean? Like he's going to get up there, and when Christian McCaffrey gets hurt, like he always gets hurt, please don't draft him in the first round, guys. Like,
yeah.
In my league, somebody did right before me. Yeah. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay. He allowed me to get Justin Jefferson. Thank you. Okay. So, my thing is this. And like I said, I thought, he had a great story coming out of Alabama, gets shot in the leg, comes back, this, that, and the other. But you're right. He didn't have that, he didn't have that gear, and he was easy to tackle because he's kind of like easy to find, or was it me? I mean, I just,
No, you're absolutely correct. You're absolutely right.
No, I'm even looking at it, the fact that he is yet to get over 800 yards. And you're supposed to be a starting running back. I'm sorry. I mean, if I'm Dad, you teach both of you guys teach in schools, and I'm not a mathematician. You only need 68 yards a game to get to 1,000 yards, and just make sure that you play good enough to where you don't get hurt.
I remember when 1,000 yards used to be something, because I lived in the era of 14 game seasons. So if you got 1,000 yards, you had to average like almost 80 yards a game, something like that. So and 1,000 yards meant something. Now 1,000 yards, I don't know what's cheaper now, 1,000 yards rushing or 1,000 yards receiving. Okay, because they were both easily made these days and whatever. And like I said, I like Brian Robinson. I really did. I rooted for him, even though he went to Alabama. I still rooted for him, but they let him go, and I'm like you. Oh well, The only problem I have is that I love Austin Eckler. I had him when he was in his heyday I was about to say San Diego. My fault. Los Angeles Chargers. Okay, and
it's always going to be San Diego.
Like me, look, I was a Charger fan back in the day. So Dan Fouts, John Jefferson, Keller Winslow, Charlie Joyner, and my man who used to smoke the cocaine from New Orleans, Chuck Muncie. Okay, Chuck Muncie played better when he was under the influence of cocaine than he ever played when he was sober. Okay,
so, LT did too. I mean,
in all due honesty, yeah. Rick told you. It's a powerful drug. Okay, so but my only problem with Eckler is that at this age right now, he's injury prone. He's one hard hit away from being done and whatever, and so he's a good stopgap kind of guy, but we still need to go back next year and try to find somebody that can be a running back.
I'm sorry, just real quick. I really wanted them to try and take a shot for Ollie Gordon this past draft. Like I know people fell out of love with Ollie last year, you know what I mean, because of whatever happened to Oklahoma State. But I really think that would have been somebody who would have done well in this offense because he has that burst and he has that versatility. And then like he's a big fast back. Hopefully Mike McDaniel doesn't fuck him up too much in Miami.
Well, the one I wanted him to go after was the one I was going to go after in fantasy until a certain offspring of mine stole him in front of me. Okay.
I mean, look, you literally came 10 minutes before the draft and said, "Yeah, man, Marion Hampton is going to be a real good guy if he's available." And I'm like, Nick, Rick, let me just go ahead and say this real quick because this is the same guy who with his friends, one of them we're not gonna name him Barr, decided to go ahead and leave his whole entire information on the computer. And this is before you go. They put the dots in the password and everything. He left all that shit open and decided that. And then Dad's sitting there walking through like, "Oh, so you just gonna leave your?" Oh, okay.
Yeah, I waved past his.
Six,
I
six.
waved past his
He
team.
traded every single person that was on that roster, and decided to go ahead and trade them over to my uncle, him, and one of my other uncles, and then decided in the message board to say that he was having a coming out party later on that weekend. You guys should come out and see it. And I mean, like, this is. You really decided, like, your offspring. You decided that's not my fault.
Listen,
And in his defense, in my defense too, there was nobody available that was good enough at running back, so I just decided to pick him up.
hey man, listen. There's a reason. I used to do a fantasy league with a bunch of my friends. We would do one every year, and it got to the point that me and two other people, our draft strategies aligned so well that every time one of us picked, you would hear people scream on the side, "Fuck!" because we were taking each other's picks. And so, like, we had to disband the league because it was just like, hey, nigga, you keep taking my picks. We're gonna have to have a discussion about this. You know what I mean?
No, that's why you keep the league alive. Okay, that's the reason you keep it together. Okay, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love beating my enemies. I like beating my enemies, but I am orgasmic about beating my boys. Okay, okay. Our league's been together for 26 years, Rick. Okay, okay. So there ain't nothing better than beating your boys, man. Okay, and giving them work. Okay, so yeah, I told you know what I entrusted my son. You know, I told him when I was like, hey, look, I'm telling you, I'm waiting for this dude, man. Ain't nobody even paying attention to get out of North Carolina.
Meanwhile, I'm doing the office meme, just like.
Oh yeah.
Oh really?
He's with a run heavy coach in Harbaugh. Harbaugh believes in running the football. Okay.
Listen, I'm at this league that I'm in now. Currently, I'm out here pushing Najee Harris. I'm like, man, y'all really need to go ahead after Najee Harris because he's gonna be the dominant.
Yes, they do, matey.
I'm glad you said that because and his thing, because I know none of her friends are gonna be watching this, so I can just say this. TD, my wife, decided to go ahead and join a fantasy football league, and she like, hey, yo, look, I need some help on everything. Who should I draft? And I literally gave her the blueprint, like, hey, this is what you need to do. And she did, and I was like, she's like, all right, so I got this person available, and I just didn't answer it quick enough. She said, don't worry about it. I picked up Najee Harris, and she texted to me. Next thing you know, she hears me saying, what the fuck did you do? Why? He said his eye is gone. What he can't even see. And she's just like,
hey, Rick, you're a football coach. Is vision important to a running back? I'm just wondering. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
I was just wondering that. Okay. I mean, just curious. Okay. So no, man, this guy must took my pick. He took my back, and I was about to pick him. Okay. I literally had him up there. And like, going like, whoop, when it makes a little sound when somebody drafts somebody out your queue, and I'm looking at and look, Rick, I don't know if I was more mad or proud, okay? Because I'm like, that's the nigga I raised right there, okay?
But I mean, since we're talking about it, and I was gonna save this for the end of the show, but ladies and gentlemen, this is gonna be the new place to go to if you ever need fantasy advice. Just make sure that you just don't say it in front of the people who you're planning on playing the following week. But like this guy over here. So I mean, but no, like all jokes aside, if you ever have any questions when it comes down to fantasy matchups this year, on the week before the matchup starts, I will be going ahead and addressing what you if you have any questions about who you should start, who you should bench. As far any other questions, who's a good pickup in the waiver wire if he's available, things of that nature. Be sure to holler at your boy. Leave a comment in the DM me, and I'll be sure to go ahead and address it in the show, and we will address it for that. But in the meantime, guys, be sure to like, comment, subscribe onto the show. And here's the main thing that part of what we were going to be addressing today. We have season predictions, and with the Commanders making their which looks like it's going to be an actual Super Bowl run, looking like what we went off of last year. We're gonna break this down quarterly, first 4 games, next 4, and so on and so on and so on, till we get to the end and give our takes on how the season is gonna be. So, with the first game we have the New York Giants, followed by the Green Bay Packers, the Vegas Raiders, and the Atlanta Falcons. Fellas, start off with you, Rick. What do you think we're going to start off in that first 4 games?
I am seeing a viable 3-1. I think the Giants are going to come out like real strong as they always do. People are hyped up. They got Jackson Dart out here feeding Jameis Winston's W's. But I mean, as far as I know, Russell Wilson is still the starter. And listen, Russell Wilson had some pretty good plays last year in Pittsburgh. But I mean, I think that I think we're going to be able to get them. Green Bay is the one team on this list that really like scares me especially now with that trade that they made. But it also depends on the health of Jordan Love. If Jordan Love is back and operating at Jordan Love capacity, then I mean, I think they could possibly get us. But also, I mean, if not, then I mean, we all know how that can go. Like we usually have pretty good games against Green Bay. The Raiders in week 3. Pete Carroll is a great coach. Pete Carroll has done some great things in this league. But also the Raiders are the Raiders as of late. The only offensive weapon for that team that really scares me is Maga Bowers. Ashton Genty, like most running backs when they get drafted, he probably won't really hit his stride until like this back half of the season. But yeah, and then also with the Falcons, Michael Penis has been. Did I misspeak? Did I say something?
No, you nailed it.
No, I mean, again, he's
like a good penis would. Okay,
right, exactly. He's going. Him and Jaden are going to do battle for the next 10 to 12 years or whatever. And I look forward to seeing it. But right now, that it's our time right now. And so I really think that we're going to get them.
Pops.
New York scares me from a defensive standpoint. Okay, you got Abdul Carter next to Thibodeau, next to Lawrence. Okay, that's a problem. And I think we have some issues with the interior linemen that we have right now. Okay. Cosme's going to be on the pup list for the next couple of weeks or whatever. And so they scare me. I still think we win, but I think it's one of those 17-14 games, and you're hoping that the kicker gets hurt again or something like that, that they scare me. But I think James at the point where he can handle something like that. Okay. I think with this guy, we have somebody, if it's close in the fourth quarter, we can just sit back in our chair and watch the magic. I think that. So I got them getting past the Giants. The second one was Green Bay. I'm like you, Rick. That one is a concern, But I don't think Michael Parsons is going to be full strength right there. I think he'll still be on the pitch count and whatever. So because that's a Thursday night game, it's in the middle of the week and whatever. Yeah. So I think we can beat them, but I think that's a 50-50 game and whatnot. So I will go with the wish instead of what I really think is what. So I'm gonna wish they win it and whatever. The Raiders are not concerned. Brock Bowers is the only guy on there. Ashton Jennings don't have his feet. He don't have his feet yet. He's not ready for this game. And the Falcons, well, yeah, I'll be at that game, baby. That's all I got to say. I'll be there for that one. I think I'm with you. Here's the thing: Penix is better than Kirk Cousins. He has a real arm and whatever, and he has real athletic ability. And he unlocked London. Okay, he got London out of the box or whatever because Kirk Cousins couldn't find him for some reason, or kept overthrowing him or this, that, and the other. So, but I'm going to say 3-1. I'm thinking it's possible to go 4-0, but I'm going to say they're going to lose one of these games that I wasn't looking for and whatever. So, and if I got to pick one, I'm going to go with, just like you. I'm going to go with Green Bay. You're playing them in Green Bay, and that's a problem. Okay. Not to mention any team that has bench seats in their stadium, they're back to the leather helmet kind of guys or whatever. So.
I mean, just a quick rundown for me. I think that we're gonna beat New York by 2 touchdowns, and I mean, and it's not even like discrediting their team, or at least the defensive side. The defensive side, I am worried about, but at the same time, I'm more so concerned. I'm not concerned with their offense. their offensive line has not showed me something to where it's like it's gonna wow me as far as like, oh yeah, well, like this offensive line is just like really improved, and at some point, Russell Wilson is just he's gonna find a way to be Russell Wilson. I mean, he's gonna he's I don't know. I'm not walking in with fearful of the Giants this year yet, at least not yet. When it comes down to the second game against the Packers, yeah, I'm more until Parsons becomes Parsons again. I mean, because like you said, he's gonna be on a pitch count. You're playing 2 games within a 4-day stretch, and you still are trying to get acclimated to that playbook. So yeah, I feel like we could sneak one out. That it is the lore of Lambeau Field. So I think that we can squeak one out. I'm not worried about the Raiders whatsoever at all. I'm not. And I can't wait to go down to Atlanta. It's going to be my birthday weekend. So we're going to turn up. We're going to go ahead and get that W. We're going to get some lemon pepper wings and go to Magic City. So, but the next 4 games.
Just don't lick your fingers in Magic City. That's not a good. Don't do that. Okay. You might come home with some rashes or something like that. Okay. I know the wings taste good, but don't lick your fingers. Okay.
The next 4 games. Go, Rick.
No. This is sports show. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it to G.
The next 4 games, you got the LA Chargers going out to LA, coming back home against the Bears on a Monday night game. We got Dallas the following week in Dallas, and we're going to Kansas City. And Pops, if I'm not mistaken, you're going to that game, right?
Going to Kansas City.
Yeah. So tell me what you think about the next 4.
Okay. The first one is the Herb Bridges Bowl, because for a little while in my adolescence, I was like 14, 15 years old, I was a Chargers fan because the Redskins had let me down, and and the Chargers had Dan Fouts and Chuck Muncie and Kellen Winslow, Charlie Joyner, John Jefferson, and I mean they could be 25 up or 25 down, and you never turned off the television, okay? Because they had a defense that could blow a 25-point lead, and they had an offense that could overcome a 25-point lead. So this is my love bowl, but I think we got them. But also the problem is they got my favorite college coach on the sidelines and Jim Harbaugh and whatever. So so you know what? I'm going to go out on a mission on a limb. They might lose to the Chargers. They might lose to the Chargers because it's in LA, you know. And if I've said one thing about this team could end up winning less games and be a better team at the same time than they were last year. You know, so the Chicago, that's a bye right there. Yeah, we got we'll beat them or whatever. The Cowboys,
we're basketball guys though, Dad. We're basketball guys.
Yeah, about that. Yeah, they're the Bears. Okay, but no, I think the Cowboys. I think we got that. I think that's not a problem. I think they're still going to be getting over the hangover, and I'm hoping that the ticket prices drop there now that Mike is gone. Kansas City, yeah, no, they're too strong on both sides of the ball. You know, they get well. I don't know if Rashee Rice will be back by then, right? He's not back by that time, is he?
No, he will be. It's only 6 games.
No, okay, so yeah, so they're going to have Rashee Rice. They're going to have their full complement of weapons. And there's this guy that plays quarterback for them.
Dylan Raiola. I'm sorry. Also, quick interjection. Does anybody else find that whole fucking relationship weird? Like, Dylan Raiola has literally made his whole personality just young Pat Mahomes.
That's a kid from Nebraska, right? That's a kid from Nebraska. Yeah. It's a little creepy. Okay,
it's very fucking weird. Like I was looking at the other day, I was like, they're covering on sports, and I'm like, y'all don't find this fucking weird? This is weird.
You know, that's like Single White Female. That movie, remember the Single
Exactly.
If I was Pat, I'd be like, yeah, bro. Okay.
They're gonna look up, and Brittany Mahomes is gonna be thinking Pat's walking through the door. It's Dylan walking in. Hey, babe, I'm home. Like, it's weird. Get out of here.
It reminds me of that Progressive commercial where the chick is like following the girl around and she shows up in the window and all that other stuff. So yeah, it's got that single white female vibe to it or whatever. So yeah, you know. And by the way, can I say this on your show? It's dick riding at its tops Okay,
Man.
You are a rider for life. Okay, so yeah, that's a little crazy, but yeah, Patrick Mahomes. I'm sorry, until somebody does something to him, he's Tom Brady on deck. That you're not going into Kansas City and winning that game. If they do, oh my God, it'll be an epic trip. I'll be so drunk that night it won't make sense. Okay, so.
What about you, Rick?
The Chargers. I don't know, man. Like the Chargers are always one of those teams that I just get weird vibes about. You know what I mean? It's like something like the Chargers always seem like they can beat everybody, but then at the same time, and they could lose to the little Giants. You know what I mean? And so like I think we're gonna beat them. I think this is gonna be one of those games that might be almost like a shootout. But I think that we can get them. I think our defense is. I think people are underselling how much better our defense has gotten this past offseason. Like I know people get caught up in the preseason, but just look at the pieces and look at how well everything fits, and look at and go from there. Also, I believe I don't know if he made their 53, but I believe Benjamin St. Juice is on that team also.
He's on that team, yes. And let me just interject real quick.
I didn't know that. I might want to change my pick.
Let me interject real quick because the LA Charger fans have definitely been like, man, this motherfucker plays just like Mike Davis. Yeah, both of them were on the team last year. So
and we won 12 games.
And we
won 12 games with both of those guys on our roster.
Hey, look, and if I'm Cliff Kingsbury, I would tell what's his name, our wide receiver, what's his name,
Terry.
What's his name, Terry. Wherever Benjamin St. Juice lines up, you go to him. Instead of having quarterbacks follow the receiver, I want the receiver to follow him. Okay.
No. I go to the quarterback before the game and I say wherever 25 is, that's our first read. That's our first read because either we're going to get a catch or a PI. So yeah. Also, they don't have one that Joey Bosa is gone. Khalil Mack is not the force that he used to be, so I don't see their defense being as good as it was. So I think we can get the Chargers. The Bears. Last time I checked, Caleb is still playing hero ball. As much as Ben Johnson is trying to coach it out of him, there's just certain things that some people revert to. That's their comfort zone, and especially when that's the way your quarterback plays, that's what it is. He still doesn't throw the ball on time to me, and he's always trying to extend. So, I don't know where all of this excitement for the Bears is coming. Well, I know where it's coming from, but
Ben Johnson.
Yeah, I guess, man. Anyway. I'm not because I can do a whole dissertation on that guy, but yeah, I think we're gonna get the Bears. The Cowboys.
Don't say it.
All right.
No.
So this is a hot take. But I really believe this. I believe by the time we play the Cowboys, Joe Milton will be the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys.
Wow.
I honestly believe that. Someone asked me about it
because we have a bad record against their backups. We can beat their starting quarterback, but their backup quarterback always causes us problems.
This is true. But also Joe Milton is going to throw that bitch 1,000 yards. Like he's going to rear back and throw it 1,000 yards. So if we get in the shootout with the Cowboys again, I'm taking us. Just because we can actually run the ball. And last time who's the starting running back for the Dallas Cowboys?
I thought you
exactly. So yeah. And then Kansas City. Listen, Kingdom's got to fall at some point. And again, I haven't said it on this show, but I have a certain dislike for Patrick Mahomes. It is a very, very deep-seated dislike for him. We'll get into why on another show because I don't want to take the show over Herb. But again, a Big Herb. You were right. Like he is Tom Brady in waiting. He is the GOAT currently at quarterback. It'll be a tough game, but. Like I said, I'm hoping that this is the year that the kingdom begins to fall. So
So you just predicted 8-0.
Huh?
You just predicted 8-0.
Have I? I feel like
Yeah.
I'm more so leaning towards 6-2.
Well, that's what I called, but you didn't pick any of the L's. Okay.
So Herb Senior, I really I actually haven't really even picked any wins or losses. I've just been kind of giving like points because I hate doing predictions. Because I know because on the internet people like to call you back and be like, "Hey man, you said we was gonna do this," and I'm like, "Hey, shut your stupid ass up! I never said that." So
I get a feeling you've said that a lot, Rick. Okay. Get that feeling, just give off that shut the fuck up vibe. Okay. So
I can only be what I am.
hey, trust me, I got the vibe too. Okay. We can smell our own. Okay.
So just to reiterate on just following up on again with y'all. Yeah, I don't Justin Herbert, he's good, but then he always just finds a way to just it's Cinderella. It's
in the playoffs
with him.
He finds a way in the playoffs. He only had he threw more interceptions in the one playoff game than he threw all of last regular season.
It just hit me. He's a more mobile Dan Fouts. Because during the season, he puts up all the numbers. And then when it gets to crunch time, it's just.
Hey, look, man, you're not going to talk about Dan Fouts like that, man. You know what, man? We're going to have a problem, man. I'm serious. We're going to have words. You're not going to talk about, nah, man. He's the passing Jesus, man. He had the beard and everything, okay? The only reason they didn't win the Super Bowl was that Ice Bowl crap in Cincinnati when it was 27 below or whatever. And then, of course, they blew a game to the Houston Oilers when the Houston Oilers were a wild card team and they lost to them. And Houston Oilers, Dan Pastorini was out, Earl Campbell was out, and somebody else was out, and they managed to lose. But
that's crazy work. Yeah, I see us getting what's the name, the Chargers. I see us beating the Bears, and it's not going to be a whole entire situation with, damn it, woman, come on. I don't see a situation to where we're going to go ahead and have a problem with the Bears this time because JD is not going to be hurt, and we're not going to have to rely on the Hail Mary. Going to the Cowboys game, yeah, they don't scare me anymore. They especially after you have a dumbass owner GM that wants to give away their best player on defense, and yeah, I'm going to take that L for the the Chiefs in the Kingdom. So that's my take on it. But the next couple games, we are going into the game against the Seahawks, where we're going to be having the Art Monk retirement number, playing up against at home against the Lions, going to Madrid to play the Dolphins, and then we're going on a break for our bye week. So thoughts on that, fellas?
Okay. The Seahawks, that's a home game. That's a win. Okay. We ain't going to spend too much time on that. The Lions, they're going to have some payback on their mind. Okay. They're going to have some payback on their mind. I think that's an L. Because I'm not going to pick them 16-0. Okay. So they got to, and this is a losable game. The Dolphins, I wish we were playing them in someplace cold. Okay, because if it was below 40 degrees, that would be an automatic W. Okay, but I think they talk about your boy Tyreek might be out for the year. He got an abdominal strain or something like that.
Yeah,
and whatever. So he's going to be out for a while. And the Dolphins are just not tough enough. They can be beat. And I think we win the bye week as well.
Sam Darnold is the starter for Seattle, right?
Yep.
Okay, there you go. Like you said, Detroit is going to have revenge on their mind. They're going to come out like a house of fire, but I kind of see a little bit of regression from them this season. I don't. Did they add another pass rusher, or is it just 8?
What they did is get all their guys healthy. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and they did get all their guys healthy, but also like their guys weren't gangbusters before everybody started getting injured. You know what I mean?
There's a guy named Aiden Hutchinson was kind of on track for being one of the top defenses in the league. If I remember.
Yeah, you're right, absolutely. I still know. Listen again. as somebody as an indirect Michigan fan, somebody who's constantly rooting for Michigan, I watch from a distance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know exactly what he can do. I know who the kid is. Run the ball at him. So so
But
so there's that.
look, if your offensively if their offense is what they're going to be ahead in a lot of games. Maybe not this one, but a lot of games they're going to be ahead. And so you're not going to be able to run the ball against them.
Yeah. Anyway, and then week 16. Like you said, I really wish we were playing the Dolphins here in a cold weather place. And then also because remember the last time the Dolphins played here, all of those random Dolphin fans that showed up. I want to see them go home unhappy. But also at this point, I'll feel like Mike McDaniel will be holding on for dear life at this point because
if he's not gone.
yeah. I mean, listen, the substitute teacher look was cool for the first 2 years, but now the bloom is off of the rose, and I think he'll be coaching for his life at that point. And I think they'll be fully off the rails by that point. So, but
is it me or he's a little sus? Do he look kind of sus to y'all?
He looks like that substitute teacher, and we've all worked in education. We look like that substitute teacher that sells weed to the kids. Like that's what he looks like to me.
I just know he's a little.
It's off the bench, ladies and gentlemen. So. Off the bench, yeah. So
more like off the chains, okay?
Definitely. But no, just going down the line on my predictions. Sam Darnold. I don't even know why we're playing the Seahawks on national television that weekend. I do think that we're gonna have to fight that one out against the Lions. They still gonna be pissed. So I'll give us the L on that one. I still remember where you were saying, Rick, as far as them going in, coming in here during that sloppy bowl where all they was putting up damn near 60 points. I didn't forget that shit because on Hard Knocks during the middle of the season, they was literally going over, hey, what dances are we gonna do in the end zone? Yeah, I want to run up the score and possibly get him fired that weekend coming back home from Madrid. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that one. So, and of course we have the bye. So going on to the next batch, we will be coming home against the Denver Broncos on which looks like Sunday Night Football. Followed up going to Minnesota, going to the New York Giants, and playing and playing the Eagles. So yeah.
I'm sorry. Hey Herb, I actually I'm gonna do the last 6 because I got to jump off here.
Real quick. Go do you think?
So the Denver Broncos, man, listen, Bo Nix was in college for 18 years. So again, that's why I see him. He came in the league ready to play as well as he did. But the Broncos, they do scare me a little bit because they have a overall balanced team, but I just don't want to give Sean Payton any credit. You know what I mean? I don't like Sean Payton. I don't. Minnesota, I will be at that game. I think Kevin O'Connell is another one that we've had, another one that coached here who's shown his coaching brilliance once he got out of here. I think they're going to be a tough test. I think it's going to be. I think that game is actually going to be a shootout. I think that's going to be one where we're going blow for blow the whole time.
Wow. Okay.
The New York Giants at this point, they should be out of all contention, and Jackson Dart should be starting. And so rookie quarterback, and he hopefully he's the inverse of Daniel Jones. You know what I mean? He plays well against everybody else and plays terribly against us. And then the last 3 games, it's just who do we screw over? Who do we piss off at the league office for these last 3 games? It's like we got the Eagles. Flip a coin at this point. Like, I mean, I'm hoping that playoff loss is like at the forefront of everybody's equilibrium on the team, and it's just like, hey, we gotta kick these dudes in the nuts like real bad. Like we got to go at them for real. Again, we're well into the Joe Milton era in on my schedule right now with the Cowboys on Christmas Day. So At this point, he'll have probably like 10 touchdowns and 35 interceptions. So, that'll be a Christmas Day victory should be good. That one I am going to call a W. I'm giving a definitive W for the Cowboys on Christmas Day. And then lastly, against the Eagles to close out the season, it's an away game. Hopefully we're playing for the division at that point. Hopefully we're playing for the division and not even the conference, the whole division. You know what I mean? Like I hope we're planning to see who's going to be first place in the division at this point. So I think this roster is a lot better than what it was. I think it's a lot more balanced roster. I think this is a lot deeper roster than what people realize. And I think for the most part, we're going to have a fairly good season. Not giving a win-loss record. I will not be doing that because again, I don't feel like kicking none of you little niggas' asses and you come to me in person and be like, hey, Rick, you said it. No. I'll give you a wedgie and I'll Uncle Phil your ass right on out of wherever we're at. So, but yeah, so that's kind of my outlook on the season. I'm sorry to interrupt like this, but man,
it's all good. It's all good, man.
We appreciate
you. We appreciate you coming on, man. And like always, man, just you always got an open seat here on Off the Bench, man. Appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you. Love both y'all dudes.
All right. So yeah, so Pops, I mean, let's just go ahead and finish out the rest of the season, starting from the Broncos game. Hold up. I think you had a situation. Go. Your mic was on. No, you sound muted. Don't know what's going on. Try now. No, I can't hear you. Hold on a second. We're gonna try to figure this technical difficulty mess out real quick. So, but in the meantime, yeah, let's try it one more time. Go ahead, Dad. Hold on a sec. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Now we good now. We good now.
Something was connected to my cell phone, and the computer's running through the cell phone, and it cut itself off. Okay, all right. So you can edit all that out, right?
We good. We live. So I mean, just keep on.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, last 5-6 games. Okay. Whereas before I had them losing a couple of tough games, I think they win this one. I think they beat Denver. Denver's got a good defense, and Bo Nix is not bad. And I drafted Cortland Sutton. Okay, I think they beat that game, and if the next game in Minnesota, I too will be there, and it's gonna break my heart to root against a Michigan kid, But I think we get that one too. I think we get the Giants. I think we get the Cowboys. You notice I skipped over Philadelphia, and I don't know which one of those games, but I think one of those games is gonna be meaningless. Okay. And that's why it's hard to pick. Either Philadelphia would have clinched or we would have clinched where we're at, or or maybe both teams clinched by that end game. So and it's at Philly, I think it's kind of hard to predict that game. It's kind of a toss-up because in week 17, a lot of stuff is already settled,
Pretty much.
And people know where they're going to be. I like the fact that I think we'll beat them at home. And I think, the Cowboys, as long as Jer's in charge, we should be okay. Okay. As long as they haven't sent them to, assisted living facility, I think we'll be okay or whatever. So I don't know. I think, and if I was going to say a record, I want to go with like last year. I want to say 12-5 or 13-4, something like that. But I also think it's a shot that they could be 10-7. This team could be a better team than last year's team, but because this murderous row of a schedule, they can end up having a worse record. You're playing the two best divisions in football other than your own. Okay, you got to play the NFC North and the AFC West. I mean that's a dogfight. Okay, that is a dogfight. So, but I like to think I'm going to go with 13-4 overall. Okay, and that's a very optimistic. As a matter of fact, I might go on MGM after this and try to lay that. I don't know what the thing. I think it's 12 wins or something like that. But if it is, I'll lay the over.
No, because I'm with you on that. I actually got them beating the Broncos at home in a dogfight, squeaking one out against Minnesota. Of course, beating the Giants because Jackson Dart will be playing by then, and I'll be looking forward to Hard Knocks by around that time because it's going to be a dogfight where we actually got to go against the Eagles that whole entire week. That first batch right before Christmas. going against the what's the name, the Cowboys, and finishing off the season in Philly. I think this is what I think. I think that they're going to be riding high as far as the Eagles. We're going to sneak one out against the Eagles at home, beat the Cowboys. But we're going to have that last game is going to be an interesting one where it's just like, okay, so we got the this one's for all the marbles. We're going for the division, and it's kind of hard saying that we're going to sweep the Eagles. So I'm going to give the Eagles, especially at home, that victory. So,
and see, my thing is, this is not the year. That's what I really want to tell everybody. This is not the year. Next year and the year after that, like that, when James got 4 years in, man, that right there, that's when he will have this. The game will slow down to him. He'll be able to handle everything. He'll be able to make adjustments. He'll be like Lamar Jackson. You know, he can be able to work. He's not as athletic or as fast as Lamar Jackson is, but he's a much better passer. And Lamar Jackson's a good passer. Forget what they've always said about him. He's a good passer. Okay,
he's a great passer. I mean, it's just like his receipt. It's not like he has those number one dominant receivers. He has a 31-year-old, damn near 2,000-yard running back, and the only reason why he didn't get 2,000 yards is because Lamar's running for 900. So
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Well, and that helps when you got a truck behind you. Got a big ass diesel truck behind you. Okay,
exactly. So I mean, but it opens up the field for everybody. I mean, still trying to figure out how Mark Andrews dropped that pass in there because that's the point. But no, I see them pulling out at least going. Was it 13-4 or 12-5 again? And like you said, it's not far fetched for them to be the same record or have less wins, but still be a better team. And this goes into the next state right here, the NFC East division predictions. So tell me what you think.
Let's say it together. Eagles, Commanders, Giants, Cowboys.
So, and that is pretty much it as far as that prediction. Nothing else there, because I mean, Jerry knows how to fuck everything up, and I'm all here for it.
You know what? Your grandfather used to say, "Son, you can fuck up a wet dream." Okay, and that's Jerry. Jerry can fuck up a wet dream. Okay, so
gotta use that from now. So for your Super Bowl predictions, who you think is gonna get into the big game?
Ooh, Philly, Baltimore. Right off the bat, just Philly, Baltimore. As long as Buffalo doesn't make it, I'm happy.
Yeah. I think we can both agree to that, because I mean I do not want to strangle Steve if they get into that game, because it's just.
But we will. Okay, we will if it's necessary. But no, I think they're still the two best teams in the league.
Mm-hmm.
I really do.
Me personally, I wouldn't be surprised. And call me a homer. I think we can make it. I mean,
you asked for a prediction. You didn't ask for possibilities. Yes, I think. Oh, yes, they can do if things fall right and this defense falls into place. You know, and I think the kid from Virginia Tech, the wide receiver they drafted,
Jalen Lane.
If they can use him kind of like a fast version of Debo, like Debo's supposed to be the Swiss Army knife, and if you can make this kid the same kind of weapon, but like with deeper shots, you know, things along those lines, the offense can open up, because you can play on 4 different levels. You can play in the backfield, you can play on the line of scrimmage, you can play in, you know, at linebacker depth, and you can also play deep. And if you can threaten all four zones of a defense, and you're going to be, and you got an accurate passer like Jayden Daniels, you know. Yeah, I mean, it's not impossible. It's not impossible. I'm just not ready to predict that yet. I don't, you know, I'm not ready to predict that yet. Maybe next year. But
I'll be bold. I think we're gonna get it. As far as winning it, I'm not sure. But I do see us actually getting to what's the name? Getting a matchup against Baltimore. I do believe Baltimore could get there.
It would be fun to see a Beltway Super Bowl. That would just
it would be. And his name meeting in San Francisco. You know what I mean? That would be interesting. But last but not least, especially because we're doing bets and stuff like that. So who you got winning these awards?
Okay, and I wrote them down. So I'm gonna go through it real quick. By the way, and I have Baltimore winning that Super Bowl, by the way. So, and it's hard because I don't like Baltimore at all. Okay, Offensive Player of the Year, Lamar Jackson. Okay, Defensive Player of the Year, Michael Parsons on the revenge tour. Okay, because there will be nothing sweeter than him getting Defensive Player of the Year after Jerry trading away for chestnuts and whatever, just whatever. I don't win. What did I say? MVP.
Yeah,
I think MVP usually goes to the Offensive Player of the Year. Let's face it.
yeah,
it'll be Lamar and whatever. So
yeah.
it'll be Lamar. That's all the predictions I had. Do we have other predictions?
We don't really know much about the rookies, so I'm not even gonna ask about the
rookies. Oh no,
yeah,
I did have the rookies. I did have the rookies. Oh,
okay. All right.
Where did I put them? Defensive rookie of the year with the kid Abdul Carter. Okay.
Okay.
Great record. He's a record. That kid is crazy. Okay. He scares. He's the one that scares me more than anybody. He reminds me of Jalen Carter. Okay.
Okay.
He can wreck games like that. And I put the guy that you stole from me in the fantasy football league or whatever. Everybody wants to pick Ashton Jeanty. I'm thinking Omarion is because he's going to be a run-centric coach. Okay.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted him. Not that he's better than Gentry, but the way they're going to use him. Okay. And so yeah, so those are my rookies.
I'm just gonna make it quick. I'm going bold prediction. I'm going 85 as MVP. Going with Jaden Daniels. I'm going with him. I think that he's gonna make that jump to where he's on fire right now. So I'm going with JD5 to go ahead and get the MVP for Offensive Player of the Year. Like you said, is pretty much going anything less of what's the name from Baltimore? Derrick Henry reaching the 2,000 yards or 19 on it again. I would say him. But defensive, that's actually an interesting one. So I mean, as far as you saying, it was going to be Parsons. I'm gonna go with because I think that the Eagles are actually going to be still dominant. I'm going to give it to Jalen Carter. I see him making a bigger jump than he was last year. And for the offensive and defensive player rookies of the year, I went with Ashton Gentry and hometown own Trey Amos for defensive rookie of the year. So I truly believe this kid is going to be nice, and it's a reason why people are going to be testing Lattimore more than they do Trey Amos. And with Sanders still on the slot, I think it's gonna really go ahead and have a lot of people looking at, damn, this kid is actually really nice, and it's not just the supporting cast that he has around him. So that's my take.
The only reason I go against that is one thing: if he's as good as you say he are, they're not gonna throw at him. They're gonna test Lattimore.
Well, I mean, they did the same thing with Sauce. I mean, Sauce Gardner, they really didn't throw it around him. So I mean, but yeah, but that's my take on. So. Before we go any further, Dad, we appreciate you coming on here once again. I do want to go ahead and say this, guys, because did you want to tell anybody about anything you got planned?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, well, obviously I'm going on the road with the boys and whatever. So I'm going, we're going to Atlanta. I'm bringing my son with me. So, we're going to Atlanta. Atlanta's fun. You're going to enjoy it. We're going to go to Kansas City. I'm looking forward to that. Also the barbecue. I heard the barbecue's pretty good there, but I just want to cross that off my list. I need to, I'm in the process of trying to cross all these stadiums off my list. And of course we're going to Minnesota in December. And by the way, who goes to Minnesota in December? We do. Okay. And we're going to catch the Prince. Well, they're going to the Prince Museum. I'm going to the Timberwolves game. Okay. So, because we try to go to a basketball game whenever we're in a town that has both. Because I saw the Clippers and Golden State play when I was in LA. We saw the Pelicans play in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they're the only ones who have worse attendance than we do. Okay.
Here's the thing, like it literally was it was like you could hear yourself echo from the top, and But ironically, it was actually a good game when we went down there.
Or either that or we were drunk, or both. You know.
I mean, the Pelicans got a dub. That was one of the only dubs that they got that year. No, they lost that game. They lost that game.
They lost.
We were a little buzzed. So I mean, my bad.
But you know, I'm looking forward to the season. I really am. I have cautious optimism. You know, you know, because you know what, I'm like a whoop dog. You know, I've been abused a lot. Okay, so you know that I still haven't gotten over the Dan Snyder years yet. So you know, so I'm a little scared. You know, I got RG3. You know, I remember he had the great year, and then boom. But this kid's different than RG3. A, he's not full of himself. B, he's a football player, not a track guy who throws the football. You know, and he's humble.
We need to get you that Snyder era Survivor shirt.
Yeah, how about yeah. Please, thank you. Okay. No, I always enjoy coming in, man. You know, I love the show and whatever. So, like, hey, look, and I'll say it for you: like, subscribe, hit like and subscribe. You know, and follow and whatever. And, you know, Off the Bench is off the chains. Here we go.
But like I said earlier in the show, guys, we are doing fantasy matchups for every week. So be sure if you have any questions about potential starts or sits or who should I look out on the waiver wire, just be sure to leave them in the DM or leave them in the comment section, and we'll be sure to hit you the following week, telling you who should we start, who should we bench. I'll even go up and put up against because we're in the same league this year. So I'll even say like, hey, this is who I'm starting, who I'm benching or whatever to look out for. But guys, like always, we are on the road to 500 subs. So be sure to hit that like, share, subscribe. Go ahead and help me grow so we can do more. Guys, as we always do every single show, left hand up, who are we? The Commanders. Peace.